One day, Abdulmuttalib, while sleeping in the shade of the Kaaba at a place called Hijr, had a dream. In his dream, someone says, "Get up, dig the Tiber." "What is Tiber?" asks Abdulmuttalib, but he receives no answer. The next day, he sees the same person in his dream again. This time, the person says, "Dig the Madmuna." "What is Madmuna?" he asks, but again he receives no answer. On the third day, the same person appears again and says, "Dig the Zamzam." This time, in order to get an answer, Abdulmuttalib does everything he can and asks, "What is Zamzam?" Then the person replies, "Zamzam is an inexhaustible water source, and its depth cannot be measured. With it, you will provide for the water needs of the pilgrims. It will be between the two places where the blood of sacrifices is spilled and other waste is discarded at the Kaaba. A winged crow will come and mark the spot by pecking at the ground with its beak. And now there is also an anthill there," was the reply. Abdulmuttalib had heard that the Jurhum people, when fleeing from an enemy attack, had left all their valuable possessions at that spot and covered it up. Now no one knew the exact location. It had become a legend among the people. And now in his dream, the exact location had been clearly revealed. Most importantly, he was commanded to uncover that endless, fathomless spring. After such a clear description, Abdulmuttalib could no longer wait. He went to the place that had been mentioned in his dream. Just as it had been said in his dream, a winged crow was flying and landing, pecking at the ground as if marking the spot. When he approached and looked closely, he saw the anthill. There was no longer any doubt. The next day, he took his son Haris with him and went to that place to begin digging for Zamzam. When they opened the well's cover, they found it filled with various ornaments and precious items. Abdulmuttalib and his son Haris, overwhelmed with joy, began to say, "Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar," in takbir. Thus the source of Zamzam water was revealed. When the people heard that Abdulmuttalib had found treasure, they demanded a share of the gold and silver that had come from the well, saying that they too had a right to it and should be included. However, Abdulmuttalib refused to give them any. Angered by this, a man named Adi ibn Nawfal, who was present, insulted Abdulmuttalib by saying, "You have no one around you except your only son." Adi's words struck Abdulmuttalib deeply. Having been deeply immersed in the belief that power and strength were measured by the number of relatives and the size of the gathered group, Abdulmuttalib, with his heart filled with resolve, raised his hands to the sky and swore, "I swear, if Allah grants me 10 sons, I will sacrifice one of them near the Kaaba." This was a sincere prayer from his heart, and at the same time, it was a vow made to Allah near the Kaaba. The two parties could not reach a mutual agreement. At that point, Abdulmuttalib suggested that they appoint someone as an arbitrator. So everyone decided to turn to the seer of the Sa'idul tribe for guidance. After this, Abdulmuttalib, along with his close companions and representatives from each tribe, gathered and set off for Sham. The destination was far and the journey was difficult. When they reached a place between Hijaz and Sham, Abdulmuttalib and his companions ran out of water. There is nothing more difficult than being without water in the desert, so Abdulmuttalib, helpless, asks the Quraysh for water. However, they refuse to give it to him. Allah, however, did not intend to take Abdulmuttalib's life at that moment. Suddenly, he saw water flowing from beneath his camel. With his sword, Abdulmuttalib widened the area where the water was flowing and first quenched the thirst of his companions and animals. Then he called the people from Mecca who were traveling with him and provided water for them as well. Having responded to bad with good, the people of Mecca, feeling ashamed of their actions, apologized and promised not to dispute over the treasure. They then turned back,